Confetti still floats in the Bellagio lights when the midnight notice hits. Second place erased. Fourth place erased. Millions quietly move. The podium smiles freeze. Contracts unlock. Bonus clauses shut. Phones light up from penthouses to pit walls. Max wins on track, but the money story never left the strip. This is the 2025 Las Vegas Grand Prix, the weekend where a 9mm plank rule flipped standings and shifted value far beyond Parc Fermé. Last year's impact was quoted at $934 million. This year's winners look different. To see who actually got paid and how you could have too, we need to go back to how Vegas priced the weekend. Vegas didn't sell rooms, it sold access. The mega resorts built a weekend like a casino table. Control the minimums, rake the pot. Advanced ADR models pushed nightly rates into the stratosphere, layered with mandatory 3-night minimums and the quiet tax resort fees. At event fees you can't negotiate. Inventory tightened by design. You weren't just booking a bed, you were buying a lane to the starting grid. While that was happening on the strip, the ticket map split the crowd into two economies. Grandstands were the wide funnel, high price, high volume, but the real profit center lived behind velvet ropes. Hospitality clubs like the Bellagio Fountain Club became balance sheet miracles, premium F&B tucked into a view that doubles as a marketing asset. Margins weren't about food or chairs. Margins were about exclusivity you couldn't replicate anywhere else. Unknown to most fans, a third market sat underneath. Secondary brokers working spreadsheets like pit walls. Early allocations at face value turned into race week flips. Once weather and title tension drove scarcity, some got burned during midweek rain. The sharp ones priced weather risk, held inventory, and sold into Friday night's optimism. Packages rewired the rules. Seats weren't sold alone. Suites, dining credits, limo transfers, and club access bundled into a single line item. Corporate cards would approve without blinking. And when casinos comped in Wales, those free seats weren't free. They were acquisition costs backed by casino credit cycles. A baccarat session could pay for a dozen paddock passes. Meanwhile, restaurants along the circuit didn't just take reservations, they sold the room. Full buyouts. Set menus with markups disguised as event experiences. Nightclubs pushed host economics to new limits. Table minimums included celebrity appearance fees and view premiums. You weren't paying for a table, you were paying for social proof inside the most photographed race on earth. Here's where the model showed its sharp edges. Saturday sell-through looked strong, but late cold and rain nudged demand just enough to force some discounting in the lower tiers. The premium tiers held, margins squeezed in the middle. The house still took the rake. 2 blocks off the strip, a bagel shop stared at barricades that turned locals into ghosts. No lunch rush, no walk-ins, staff on the clock with nothing to do. Their losses didn't show in glossy economic impact decks. Inside that fog, one broker found daylight. He secured 4 hospitality passes early, watched comps tighten, then placed them with a corporate client whose compliance team needed vetted invoices and last-minute guarantees. 5-figure profit by Sunday, all legal, all logistics. The P&L split was stark. On-strip operators engineered record event yield through captive pathways and bundled pricing. Off-strip small businesses and hourly workers rode a roller coaster of overtime, reroutes, and empty hours. Vegas concentrated spend where the turnstiles clicked. This was the moment everything changed for our money story. While hotels counted receipts, the promoter's own ledger was playing a different game entirely, one where spectacle is inventory. Risk wears a hard hat, and the payoff comes in multi-year cycles. If the strip turned access into yield, the promoter turned a city into a product. The Las Vegas Grand Prix didn't pay a traditional sanctioning fee to an outside promoter. F1's own local entity ran the show, which meant the revenue stack flowed into a single pot. Sponsorships, premium hospitality, trackside ads, licensing, and corporate media packages sold out of suites overlooking the fountains. Spectacle was inventory, and every sightline had a price. But there was one problem. Owning the event also meant owning the bill. Temporary street circuits don't just appear. Crews resurfaced miles of Casino Boulevard, installed kilometers of barriers and debris fencing, hung lighting rigs bright enough to turn midnight into daylight, and staffed everything with security, stewards, medics, cleaners, and engineers. The city coordinated policing support and traffic control. When rain and cold clipped practice time, ops costs didn't go down. They went up. Overtime and contingency plans ate margin like fuel. Meanwhile, the DSQ drama, McLaren's planks measured under the 9mm minimum, didn't change LVGP's top line. Ticket cash was banked. Hospitality invoices were paid, but the media value spiked. Overnight, the title fight tightened, and every highlight package, every panel debate kept Las Vegas in the crawl. That surge mattered because this was the show and tell year before Apple takes US rights next season. Advertisers shopping premium CPMs got a live demo, celebrity paddock shots, cold weather chaos, a late night rules twist. That's a sales deck you don't have to invent. Sponsors ran their own math. A logo on a bridge is nice. A celebrity sipping your drink in the paddock club is better. A C-suite closing deals in a suite is the payoff. ROI here wasn't one number. It was, how many high-intent customers did you host? How many posts did you seed? And how much of that attention came with Vegas cachet you can't replicate in Austin's paddock? One mid-tier brand CFO watched live conversion metrics from hospitality and greenlit a 7-figure activation by sundown. They didn't buy views, they bought velocity. City officials pointed to last year's $934 million economic impact as a proof point. The receipts, though, were concentrated. Resort operators captured room yield in gaming. LVGP and F1 captured the rights revenue in the global feed. Vendors with badges printed the week's best margins inside controlled zones. The risk closures, traffic snarl, political heat fell on locals who don't get a cut of a Bellagio table minimum. That's how the balance sheet smiles in public and grimaces at the neighborhood council. This is a multi-year play. The heavy capex, the paddock building, repeatable street fixtures, learned logistics gets amortized. Year 3 is where the operating model starts to breathe. Each iteration shaves build costs, tightens schedule risk, and widens the sponsorship slate. You don't build a night race on the strip to win one weekend. You build it to sell the next 5. While that margin story matured, the sporting drama threw an unexpected bonus. With McLaren disqualified and Max taking the win, the championship math reset. Betting markets adjusted, bonus pools recalculated, and viewership forecasts bumped. LVGP didn't engineer that twist, but it leveraged it. The house loves variance when it doesn't carry the downside. Vegas gave them exactly that. So where was your edge? Start with tickets. Early allocations and pre-sales are your qualifying laps. You buy clean inventory before weather models turn messy, and before title momentum moves appetite. Set rules, a base case exit into race week, a stretch exit on Friday after FP if sentiment runs hot, and a stop loss if practice gets washed. The premium, predictable scarcity. The trap, getting greedy when the forecast shifts. The pros didn't chase every percent. They monetized certainty. Hospitality flips were the paddock version of distressed debt. Corporate buyers often arrive late with compliance hurdles, and VIPs who don't do queues. If you can package verified invoices, name match credentials, and guaranteed seating plans, you own the urgency premium. The margin sits in solving fear, fraud risk, access ambiguity, headcount changes. One small agency stitched 2 nights around a last-minute Fountain Club buy, folded in ground transport and a chef's table, and cleared $28,000 after costs. The asset wasn't the ticket, it was the certainty. Short-term rentals turned into a 3-night algorithm. Price the shoulder days, Wednesday and Sunday night, so your ADR average looks rational to families and corporate assistants. Load a cleaning fee that doesn't scare, and add an event readiness line that actually buys extras. Blankets for cold snaps, earplugs, blackout curtains. Guests leave you 5 stars for comfort. You leave with a higher effective rate and fewer complaints. Refundable bookings shield you from weather surprises if you hedge by listing on 2 platforms with staggered cancellation terms. Experience bundles filled a gap. Hotels ignored. Think qualifying vantage, host hospitality club, late seating at a chef spot that views the straight. Concierge fees are just friction credits. You're not gouging, you're making chaos simple. Call it a clear lane itinerary. Deliver a laminated card, a contact number, and a guarantee window for last-minute swaps. Every minute you save them is your fee in plain sight. Creators ran content arbitrage. CPMs rise during race weeks, brands chase relevance, and affiliate links move when emotions are fresh. If you pre-sold sponsorship slots across a 3-video arc arrival, race day chaos, aftermath, and tied them to travel and merch links, you caught the wave without begging on Saturday night. The lesson: inventory your audience before the schedule takes over. Local vendors who survived did it with permits and proximity, pop-ups inside controlled zones, pre-approved power, and a product that fits a glove, handheld, warm, branded for photos. Off-strip, mobile units parked at footbridge exits. Snagged a spillover. If you waited on walk-ins, the barricades beat you. Labor was the silent P&L. Overtime premiums look small on a sheet and large on Sunday morning. Price event weeks with a labor multiplier baked into quotes, not added at the end. Staff in 2 shifts. Leave a flex bench you can call on 4 hours out. And bonus for cold weather endurance. The turnover you prevent is money you don't see leaving. Guardrails mattered more than swagger. Use refundable blocks with defined release dates. Event insurance for weather disruptions, and diversify listings so one gate closure doesn't zero your weekend. If you're flipping tickets, document chain of custody on every transfer. If you're bundling experiences, include substitution rights in writing, so you can swap dinner spots when a venue overbooks celebrities. Here's the one detail to remember next time. Scarcity isn't luck, it's built. Vegas engineered captive pathways. Your job is to rent a slice of that captivity and resell it as certainty. The Strip charged for access. You could too, if you did your homework before the lights came on. Max cashed the halo, win on the Strip, title tension surging, sponsor deliverables and bonus clauses. McLaren ate the bill. Double DSQ nuked P2 and P4, dented narrative equity, triggered rebate scrutiny. Mercedes climbed to the podium. Visibility and contractual podium bonuses clicked. Williams and Carlos Sainz banked points toward a richer constructors tier. Ferrari's grind continued. Morale costs lingered. Rookie Antonelli's long stint spiked future sponsorship calls. Betting lines, viewership, and team bonus pools all rewrote themselves overnight. Vegas priced excitement, then sold certainty to anyone controlling a gate. The fastest lap didn't decide the richest payout. Access did. If you want the Qatar and Abu Dhabi playbook, low-risk flips, timing windows, and inventory hedges, subscribe now. Watch our next breakdown to see how title volatility moves spreads and where fans can still find mispriced assets. If you're here for money behind the podium, you're in the right place.